Hello, Bronco fans and football fans everywhere. Welcome to Broncos Breakdown on the MHRT Network. This is a show that is 100% Broncos and top storylines of sports in general. I am your host, Bronco Bill. Guys, we have quite a bit of information that pertains to the AFC West, pertains to the Denver Broncos. It also pertains to the NFL in general. Then I also have a sad note of a really well-known guy who passed away. Used to be on ESPN. I'll get that to you guys in just a little bit. All right, let's start out with Colin Kaepernick. Now, Colin Kaepernick has not been in the news lately, and but because of the situation with the Seattle Seahawks in the trade that sent Russell Wilson to the Denver Broncos, and Seattle ended up getting Drew Lock amongst other things and other players. Colin Kaepernick has reached out to the Seattle Seahawks about joining them since Wilson has gone to Denver. Seattle has only Drew Lock and not sure if the Seahawks or anyone else will accept Colin's offer to entrust a 34-year-old who hasn't played since 2016. My opinion? Well, like it or not, I'm bringing it. My opinion is this. I understand that Colin Kaepernick wants to get back in the league. I get that. But on a picture that I saw pertain to this article, it looked like he had some type of a Malcolm X hat or something in that nature. Had something on his shirt that he was wearing that was like another protest type of saying or phrase or whatever. My point is this. If you want to play in a league that has rules and restrictions, just like at a job, I mentioned this before. If you're at a job and you don't own the business, you have to do what their rules say. And their rules, if you don't follow them, then either you get fired or they release you or whatever. But the bottom line for Colin Kaepernick is this. Just abide by the NFL rules, okay? You don't need to bring your politics, and you don't need to bring your sayings or your phrases or whatever that the league doesn't approve of, like taking a knee or whatever that the NFL deems they don't want that distraction, or they don't want this. Players can't wear just anything under their jerseys. They can't wear any type of cleat. They can't wear any type of saying or whatever on the back of their helmet. It has to be approved by the NFL because the NFL is the owner. Plain and simple. They're the owners. There's only 32 head coaches. And if he wants to be part of Seattle or any other team, then he has to abide by their governed rules. I understand he wants to come back, but I'll tell you what, I would not want to be the GM that pulls the trigger and brings him back if he's not willing to change and he's not willing to abide by the NFL rules that everybody else has to follow. I mean, if you get caught using steroids, you're not supposed to. Now, you could probably use steroids, for a lot of things. I mean, a cortisone shot is a type of steroid. But if it's not approved by the workforce where you or I work, or in this case, the NFL, then there's issues, and you're not going to play. And I believe and feel that that's what's happening with Colin Kaepernick. He's not willing to give up his soapbox, so to speak, and his message, but he wants the NFL to give him a second chance. Well, you want to be back in the NFL, Colin, you've got to do what the NFL says. Plain and simple. Bottom line. Is Seattle gonna bite on this? I don't think so. I really don't think so. I don't think they want that distraction. I really don't. And I know the NFL doesn't either. All right. I move on to Chandler Jones. Now, Chandler Jones, formerly of the Arizona Cardinals, has signed with the Vegas Raiders. Terms of the contract haven't been made public by the time I got this information. Okay, so the Raiders are in the AFC West, obviously. Chargers in the AFC West, obviously. So are the Chiefs. Denver makes the big splash move for Russell Wilson, and now the dominoes are falling. You know, the Chargers got the corner from the Patriots. From the Patriots. They also got Khalil Mack. The Raiders have now gotten Chandler Jones. Now, Chandler Jones is a pass rusher. When he played for the Cardinals, guess what? He went up against Russell Wilson twice a year because of the same division. Well, Chandler Jones is going to have 2 more chances every year to go after Russell Wilson. Wow. That means that not only do the Chargers beef up on defense, and now the Raiders are beefing up on defense. Of course. And it doesn't stop there. It doesn't stop there, guys. Guess what else the Las Vegas Raiders acquired? In Green Bay, Aaron Rodgers said he would come back as long as his favorite receiver, Davante Adams, stayed in Green Bay. Hey, Rodgers, how's it feel to have egg on your face? You signed that multi-year contract for that kind of money? And Davante Adams says, I'm not playing under a tendered contract. I'm not doing that. I am not playing under a franchise tag. It's not happening. Guess what? You got it, guys. Davante Adams has, the Vegas Raiders have traded for Davante Adams for 5 years, $141 million. Adams told the Packers he wasn't going to play under the franchise tag. What did Green Bay get in exchange? They didn't get a Davante Adams, that's for sure. I'm not sure what they got. But he signs for 5 years, guys. 5 years. We know that Khalil Mack on the Chargers signed for multiple years. We know that Chandler Jones probably signed for multiple years. And why is that? Well, the Raiders obviously beefed up because of Russell Wilson and because of Patrick Mahomes. The Chargers did the same exact thing because they both have their quarterback. Denver didn't have their quarterback. They had to get Russell Wilson. So, of course, the other teams are going to beef up. But that just makes the AFC West that much harder. If it wasn't difficult already playing against Patrick Mahomes and Carr and Herbert, it got tougher now because they beefed up because we have Wilson. They weren't afraid of Denver when we had Drew Lock. Are you kidding me? Nobody was afraid of Denver when they had Drew Lock or Teddy Bridgewater. But with Russell Wilson coming to Denver, all of a sudden, the Chargers and the Raiders went, oh, we have to take care of business. And that's what they've done. So we'll find out how all this pans out. But Davante Adams is now a Vegas Raider. All right. Let's go to Eric Tomlinson. Now, Eric Tomlinson and the Denver Broncos have agreed to sign this tight end, formerly of the Baltimore Ravens. He will replace Noah Fant, who was sent to Seattle in the Russell Wilson trade. Tomlinson stands 6'6", 265. Now, he's only caught 18 passes, but that's because he's more basically used as a run blocker, pass blocker, that kind of thing. We all know, or most of us should know, that Albert Okwuegbunam is expected to be the main tight end with the Denver Broncos. But to have an Eric Tomlinson is a boost, because he can spell Okwuegbunam at times. If they want to go 2 tight ends and make it look like it's a pass because Okwuegbunam's in there, but then Tomlinson's in there too, so it could be a run. So that could be a bonus for the Broncos, obviously, to have a good pass catcher in Okwuegbunam and a really good run blocker in Tomlinson. So I really like this hire. Now, I know it's only for 1 year, but you never know. You could always come back for a second year, third year option. They could. It's all about what happens this year. So welcome aboard, Eric Tomlinson. Can't wait to see you out there. It's gonna be exciting. It's gonna be exciting. Okay, let's move on to Case Keenum. Now, the Cleveland Browns. Let me back up before I give the Case Keenum news. I go to Deshaun Watson. Now, we all know that Deshaun Watson was basically not acquitted, I would say, because that wasn't the term that was used. But the grand jury didn't find enough evidence to formally charge Deshaun Watson on 26 counts of sexual misconduct. So that's been thrown out. I move on. Deshaun Watson has changed his mind and has signed with the Cleveland Browns. So you got that. He changed his mind when he eliminated 29 teams. 30 teams. Anyways, he said he would waive his no-trade clause for Carolina or New Orleans. Then he changed his mind. He will get a reported, here's that number again, guys. Here's that number. He will get a reported 5 years, $240 million, all guaranteed. What? Cleveland, have you lost your mind? Not only do you sign this guy for 5 years for $240 million guaranteed, you also brought upon yourselves, your community, your city, your state, a distraction. You don't think for one moment that there's going to be issues? Now, I'm not saying it's right, wrong, or indifferent. What I am saying, it's going to happen. But all of that aside, I'm not going to go down that road. All that aside, he gets $240 million guaranteed? Oh, heck yeah, I would sign. Absolutely, I would sign. Are you kidding me? But what does that do to other quarterbacks seeking a huge jump in salary? Deshaun Watson not only changed his mind to go to Cleveland, he also gets $240 million guaranteed, and you know that other quarterbacks on other teams are going to try and get something like that. Why not? They can use the Deshaun Watson thing. Hey, I didn't do anything wrong. The courts threw it out. It's not there. So I deserve this. Well, that's to be debated, obviously. Cleveland feels he deserves it, and I guess that's all that matters. I would not want to be a Cleveland Brown fan at this point in time. I would never want to be a Cleveland Brown fan, to be honest with you. Totally, I would not want to be one. But I guess I should say congratulations to Deshaun Watson. He is now the highest paid quarterback in the NFL on the Cleveland Browns. All right, I move to a sad note. The sad note is this. Longtime Sports Center figure John Clayton has passed away at the tender age of 67. The cause of his death wasn't revealed. Now, John Clayton, I don't know if a lot of you may know who he is. He would do Seattle Seahawks broadcasts, I believe, on their radio station. And he did that all the way up until his passing. He was also on ESPN, the Sports Center. He was a wiry-looking guy. He was definitely, in my opinion, made better for radio than he was for video. But nonetheless, he was a great figure. There was a lot of tributes coming in across the sports world, whether it be baseball, football, basketball, hockey, just fans in general. Were given their condolences, were given their comments on how he changed their life when it came to sports and that kind of thing. So once again, John Clayton passed away at the age of 67. Rest in peace, my friend. Rest in peace. Okay. Now I can go to the Case Keenum part of the Deshaun Watson connection. Now, the Cleveland Browns are sending Case Keenum to the Buffalo Bills for a 2022 7th-round pick. Cleveland also signed Jacoby Brissett to back up Deshaun Watson. So they don't feel that Case Keenum is the right fit to back up Watson, so they bring in Jacoby Brissett. Okay, I agree with that. But a former Bronco in Case Keenum, former Viking in Case Keenum, and he traveled all over, a former Washington football team quarterback, is now on the Buffalo Bills. Well, he's gonna be right behind Josh Allen, which is good for Keenum. I'm happy for him. But that ties in what also happened for the Buffalo Bills. Now, the Buffalo Bills, let me find it here. The Buffalo Bills have signed former Broncos Super Bowl champion, former Rams Super Bowl champion. That's right. The Buffalo Bills have signed Von Miller to a 6-year, $120 million contract. Miller, who turns 33 on March 26th, could end his career at the age of 39. Even though he is up in age, according to Sports Age, he was still highly coveted by several teams. The Rams even wanted to bring him back, but they weren't going to bring him back on that kind of salary, that kind of contract, that many years. Miller will receive $52.5 million in his first 3 years, $51.4 million injury guaranteed, and $45 million fully guaranteed at signing. Let me back up, guys. Let me say this again and listen to what Von Miller got. Von Miller gets $120 million over 6 years, $52.5 million the first 3 years combined. $51.4 million injury guaranteed, and $45 million fully guaranteed at signing. That means out of the $120 million, he's going to receive 45 of it just for signing. And he's got injury guarantee. If he's injured and cannot return to the Buffalo Bills or the NFL or any team whatsoever, he gets $51.4 million. That means, guys, let's say, heaven forbid, I don't want this to happen, okay? So don't even think I'm going there. But let's say Von Miller gets injured and he can't come back. He receives $51.4 million. But when he signed the contract, he's getting $45 million. So out of the 120, that is $97.5 million guaranteed, basically. Wow. No wonder Denver wasn't going to throw that kind of money out there. George Paton wasn't going to throw that kind of money at the Rams. At Von Miller. being a free agent. He wasn't going to throw that kind of money because George Payton is building for the future, not the past. Now, I'm not saying that Von Miller is not a great player, that he's lost some steps. Yes, possibly he had. He's going to be 33. And that's old considered in sports, especially football, where you're taking a beating constantly. But obviously the Buffalo Bills want that type of player on their team for one reason and one reason only. They want to win the Super Bowl. Yes, they've been to 4 straight, in fact, 1990, 91, 92, and 93. I remember those years greatly. Okay, guys, I know what you're thinking age-wise. That's all good. But yes, I did watch those live. I absolutely did. And they lost all 4. And they haven't been back since. And they want to experience the Super Bowl and championship. So they go and sign a Von Miller to 6 years, $120 million, with a lot of it guaranteed. Absolutely. I don't blame Buffalo for doing that. I also don't blame George Payton for not signing Von Miller to any type of contract like that. I love Von Miller. I have a Von Miller jersey. I know you guys seen it in videos past. But I have to agree with George Payton for not going down that road. I wish Von Miller all the best. It would be remarkable if he wins the Super Bowl in Denver, then goes to the Rams, wins another Super Bowl, and then the following year he goes to Buffalo and they win the Super Bowl. That would be very historical, obviously. I don't want it because I want the Broncos in the Super Bowl. But congratulations on Von Miller, his contract, and everything he's meant to the Denver Broncos as well as the NFL. I wish you all the best, Von. All right, let's go to Austin Sloterman. Now, Austin Sloterman used to be or was formerly on the Broncos. Well, he has agreed to terms with the Minnesota Vikings. He spent last season on the Broncos O-line as guard or center. Terms of the contract have not been released. Now, do I miss, or am I going to miss an Austin Sloterman? Yes. There was some good games he had. But again, George Payton is molding this team into what he feels, believes, and his vision is for a championship in Denver. Now, Sloterman, there are some, Elway holdovers, and there's nothing wrong with that. But George Payton has his own vision, his own ideas, and he released Sloterman, and then Sloterman signs with the Minnesota Vikings. So that's good. That's good for him that he landed on another team and that he has an opportunity to continue his career. So again, I wish Austin Sloterman all the best. And I hope he does well in Minnesota. I really do. Okay. Let's go to what I call the surprise trade in the NFL. Matt Ryan, the longtime Atlanta Falcon quarterback, Matt Ryan, has spent his entire career in Atlanta. Well, the Falcons are sending Matty Ice to the Indianapolis Colts for a 3rd-round pick. This could open up Baker Mayfield to go to the Falcons. I don't think so. I know Marcus Mariota has signed with the Atlanta Falcons. But Matt Ryan leaves Atlanta and goes to Indianapolis, traded there for a 3rd-round pick. Now, Matt Ryan, yes, when they went to the Super Bowl and they lost to the Patriots in that incredible comeback, or the Atlanta Falcons meltdown, one or the other, Matt Ryan was there. He's done great things in Atlanta. Not of late, no. The entire team is virtually in a rebuild. But he goes to Indianapolis, where he has an opportunity to get back to the playoffs. He goes to a completely different conference, just like Russell Wilson going from the NFC to AFC. Well, Matt Ryan is leaving Atlanta and going to Indianapolis, NFC to AFC. But he has an opportunity to get back to the playoffs. And no player ever plays a sport that doesn't want to win a championship. So I hope that Matt Ryan has a great career. I hope he does well in Indy, just not when we play them at all. So that to me was a huge surprise trade. I never expected a Matt Ryan to leave Atlanta. Never did. Never expected that. And this to me was the surprise quarterback trade. Marcus Mariota to Atlanta. I don't know. I don't know how that's going to work out. But obviously Atlanta feels that they'd rather have Marcus Mariota than Matt Ryan. And they got a 3rd round pick. So congratulations to Matt Ryan if that's what he wants or is willing to, obviously he has no say in it. And congratulations to Marcus Mariota as well. All right. Alex Singleton. Now, the linebacker, Alex Singleton, has agreed to play for the Denver Broncos. He was the Eagles' leading tackler and brings that talent to Denver. He chose Denver because of the winning tradition, and he said, it feels like home. Welcome to Denver, Alex Singleton, linebacker. Absolutely, we could use his talent. Absolutely, we could his leadership and his experience alongside Josie Jewell. I see this team coming together in the Pat Bowlen mindset. Get the best players you can, put them in the fit that you want, bring in the coach that has the energy and the passion like a Mike Shanahan to be that team of yesteryear. I want this Broncos team back to the way it was. 1977. Yeah, they went to Super Bowl then. 1997, 1998, 2016. Yes, I want those teams back. Those championship teams back. And I'm loving the signings that George Payton is getting. I'm loving it. Absolutely loving it. It trickles all the way down to the concession stands. They feel it. You have to know they feel the energy. And a Russell Wilson comes in. And you've got a Nathaniel Hackett with the energy. I mentioned it before. I'd love to be a fly on the wall just listening to those guys talk, converse, gameplay, laugh, joke. Because that's what works. You've got to have chemistry, and it starts, and the head coach starts from George Payton, and you can see it. Absolutely. I saw a video clip on behind the Broncos. It was towards the end, and there was a photograph that was being taken, and Russell Wilson was in the middle. Then you had on Russell Wilson's left side, you had George Payton, and on the right side, you had Nathaniel Hackett. And right before the picture was taken, or even during the picture, I'm not sure, because it was video that was being shown. And Nathaniel Hackett just reaches around and gives him a bear hug. It just kind of buries his head into his chest, and he goes, "Oh shoot, I better be proper." That's the kind of chemistry and camaraderie and appreciation that the Broncos have again. And I'm absolutely lost of words for how I feel. I'm ecstatic. I'm excited. I'm passionate, obviously. I cannot wait. I can't emphasize this enough. I cannot wait for the season to start. I don't care if it's OTAs. I don't care if it's just anything that I can see these guys with their drive and their energy and their passion and their desire. And that, to me, on the field, comes from a Russell Wilson. And I'm going to end this show with what I feel and how I feel and what I've seen from Russell Wilson off the field. We all know what he can do on the field. That's obvious. But I want to say a few things that he said in his own words about the kind of character he has, the kind of mindset he has, and just his overall comments. And I'll get to that right now. To me, Wilson is so humble and a total leader. He was drafted by the Rockies, and he even said to his dad that he may be playing at Coors Field, but one day we'll be playing over there. And he was pointing to Mile High State, the then Mile High Stadium, which is in Power Field now. Did he know when he was drafted in 2012 by the Colorado Rockies that he'd be playing over at the then Mile High Stadium? I don't think so. Maybe it was a dream. Maybe it was a wish. Maybe it was a hope. Maybe it was a drive. But that's where he's going to be playing starting 2022 season. He also said in his press conference, his introductory conference to the media, to Broncos country, and to the NFL. He said, "I thank God for the opportunity to play the game that I love." Now, does that sound to you like a guy who's not humble? Does that sound to you like a guy who's not a leader? Does that sound to you like a person who isn't grateful? No, to me, that sounds like a leader. Sounds like a person who's humble. And it sounds like a person who doesn't take his ability for granted. And he knows where that ability comes from. He has a very strong faith. And he doesn't take his ability for granted. He also said, in the Bible, it talks that old wineskins and new wineskins. And this is new wineskins for me. It's a new start. It's a new opportunity. It's a new venture. It's a new challenge. And I love the fact that he is not backing down from the challenge. He said that he wants to play the best. He didn't say he's glad that the Raiders beefed up or the Chargers beefed up. But what he did say was he welcomes the opportunity. He welcomes the challenge because he wants to beat the best so that he can be the best. I mean, it's easy to win when, you know, you're that much better. That's obvious. But if you really want to measure yourself as being the best, you have to beat the best. And when he says that he is welcoming the challenge and he's looking forward to getting started and getting in this process, yes, that is a leader and that is a person that is on a mission and on a drive. He also said that quote, "I want to play 10 to 12 more years and win 3 or 4 Super Bowls." Now, when John Elway brought over Peyton Manning said that, you know, he's here to win a Super Bowl or 2. And that's what he wants to do. And Elway said, man, if somebody came to me and said they want to play X amount of years and they want to win Super Bowls, he said, man, I would take that in a heartbeat. Well, with Russell Wilson saying that he wants to play 10 to 12 more years, I mean, he even said that he patterns himself after Derek Jeter, who played 20 years in baseball. And he said he wants to play 20 years in the NFL, at least 20 years. Well, he's already played 10, guys. So if he plays another 10 or 12, he will have those 20 years. And for him to say he wants to win at least 3 or 4 more Super Bowls, why not? Wouldn't you take that? Absolutely. And again, I say, guys, these are comments that are off the field in a press conference. Is he saying all the right things? Of course he is. But I feel it's genuine. It comes from the heart. He believes it with his head. He knows what he needs to do. And then the passion is there. The energy is there. The drive is there. And he is saying, in essence, I'm going to do whatever I can to win at least 3 or 4 Super Bowls. Absolutely. And then he ends up by saying this: I'm here for one thing and one thing only, and that is to win. Excuse me. It's going to take all of us, and every day you are going to get the winning energy from me. I have a word for Broncos country. Let's ride. You got that right. Absolutely got that right. He and Sierra, when they landed in Denver, they said they got there about 1 o'clock in the morning. They got some sleep. They were over at Children's Hospital in Denver at about 8 o'clock in the morning. And they were there to read books. Their book that says, Why Not You? And they're reading these to the kids there in the hospital. And they're giving of their time. And they're giving of their passion, their love for these kids. And Russell Wilson even said that, foundation created in Seattle is now being shifted to Denver. And they're doing work within the community with Children's Hospital. He could have easily said, you know what, Sarah, I mean, we got in at 1 o'clock in the morning. Let's put this off until tomorrow. The next day, we got a lot of things to consider. We got to get a house. We got to get things moved. We got the kids for school, all these things. No, let's just push this back and not do it. No, he put the community Children's Hospital, his foundation first and foremost, ahead of his own well-being. Is Russell Wilson a leader on the field? Absolutely. Is he humble? Yes. Is he passionate about being on the Broncos? Absolutely. But he's more than that off the field. He has very strong faith. He has very strong commitments. He has a foundation that he's put before himself when they landed in Denver. Before himself and his family, he put the children in Children's Hospital first. What more can you say, guys? What more could you ever want from our franchise quarterback than a guy as humble and as down to earth and appreciative and hard worker as a Russell Wilson? Glad you're on my team, guy. I knew I wanted you from back when I knew that there was troubling waters in Seattle. Thanks, Russ, for coming to Denver. Cannot wait for the season. That's it, guys. That's all I have. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. And please tune in to the 5280 live show on Tuesdays, 4, 5, 6, and 7 on the MHRT Network. Also, on Wednesday, 4, 5, 6, and 7, you will catch this show every week. We talk Broncos. We talk sports in general. Please tune in for the uploaded podcast of this show. And then on Thursday, please tune in to the MHRT Network for the Nothing Rhymes with Orange and Blue podcast. That's live every 4, 5, 6, and 7 on Thursday.